اقرأ باسم ربك الذي خلق. The descriptive phrase murakkab tawsifi. What do I mean when I say descriptive phrase? Sometimes the terminology themselves cause a lot of confusion for students, because as an English speaker, we don't mention things like descriptive phrases or possessive phrases or sentences of different types. We don't need to, because we are speaking English as a first language. But just to illustrate for you that we have the same thing in English, let me look at some examples. If I were to say, for example, a new pen, I hope you agree that here I'm describing a pen as new. If I were to, for example, instead say the big mosque, I hope you agree that here I'm describing the word mosque. So I have a noun being described and a description before. Of course, in English, I can have many descriptions, but only one noun being described. For example, if I say the big, beautiful, new, rectangular, wooden box. So I hope you agree the word box is now being described by more than one word. So you can have many descriptions, but only one noun that is being described. Please note, in the English language, always, the noun being described will come at the end. So the noun being described will always be at the end. Let me highlight that in different color so you can see that is a basic rule in the English language. So in English, the noun being described will always be at the end. And you will have one noun being described and you can have more than one descriptions, as you can see in the examples I have highlighted here. So what about Arabic? The major difference between Arabic and English is that in Arabic, the noun being described, in this case, a beautiful mosque. So the noun being described is mosque. The noun being described will always come first, opposite to English. And then you can have many descriptions as you have in the English language, but the description will follow afterwards. And this is the order of the descriptive phrase. So in Arabic, instead of saying a beautiful mosque, I'm saying a mosque beautiful, literally the other way around. So this is very, very important rule regarding the descriptive phrase in Arabic. The noun being described in Arabic is called mawsuf. And the description has names like Naat and Sifa. We'll just call it simply description 1, 2, 3, and 4. So the noun being described always comes first and the descriptions follow afterwards, be it 1, 2, 3, or whatever the number that you need. Now, most important thing here to note here, as far as the 4 properties are concerned, whatever the 4 properties of the noun being described is, it must follow. The description will copy the 4 properties or match the 4 properties of the noun being described. So if the noun being described is definite, the description will also be definite. If the noun being described is indefinite, the description will also be indefinite. If the noun being described is in the rafa status, the description will also be in the rafa and nasab, and vice versa with jar. So all the 4 properties, gender as well as number, they will match. And that's all you need to know to form descriptive phrases in Arabic. So the noun being described will come first, followed by the descriptions 1, 2, 3, or 4, as many as you want. And all the 4 properties of the description will match what is there as far as the noun being described is concerned. And that's all there is in forming descriptive phrases in Arabic. We have some vocabulary here for you on the left hand side, and I also have got some descriptive phrases in English which you can see. The first one is a wise student. So let's do that one first, just to again illustrate the point. So again, I've highlighted the word student for you to show that that is the noun being described. In Arabic, I must put that first. So I will start with talib, and we will make the default status in the rafa, talibun, a student. But I want to now describe the student with one description, and the description I will use is Hakim. And again, because the noun being described is in the rafa status, this must also be in the rafa status. I hope you can see that very clearly. Talibun, Hakimun. In the second one, I'm doing the wise boy. The word for boy is walad. But I need it to be definite because it's the wise boy. So I'll put al in front and we'll put it in the rafa status again. Al waladu, and then the description Hakim also needs to have al. Okay. Al-waladul hakimu. Please note that, inshallah ta'ala, the wise boy. So again, very simple. The noun being described coming at the first and the description following all the four properties. Then I want to say a wise, noble teacher. Please note I have more than one description here. The word teacher in Arabic is, you should know by now, muallim, a wise teacher, so muallimun. And then we got two descriptions. So let's put the wise first. Hakimun, a noble. Karimun. So you can see two descriptions of the teacher, a noble, wise teacher, the word teacher coming first and the description following, all the four properties matching. Muallimun, hakimun, karimun. A wise, noble teacher. The word kareem can be translated also as generous in common translation. So we also have lastly the wise, noble sheikh. Now this is the sheikh, so it should be ash-shaykhu. Okay, and then we have two description. Now because the description needs to match, I'll put al. So ash-shaykhul hakimul karimu, the wise, noble sheikh. So you can see very beautifully four descriptive phrases here using the vocabulary on the left. I'm just producing them very, very simply, knowing that the noun being described comes first and the description follow. So this descriptive phrase, really all you got to worry about is definite and indefinite in Iraab, and you're sorted, inshallah ta'ala. Okay, for you to do an exercise. Now I have four descriptive phrases in English. I'm sure you recognize these instantly. You need to translate them into Arabic. Again, using the vocabulary on the left hand side and also what I've shared with you before in terms of how to form them. Please pause the video, complete the task before continuing. Inshallah, I'm hoping you've done the task. Let's do these first. So we have the wise Quran. So I need at the beginning Al-Quran because it is the Quran. So Al-Qur'an, Al-Qur'anu, we'll use the default as Rafa, and wise. It has to be Al-Hakimu, Al-Qur'anul Hakimu. An intelligent student. Again, the student will come first. Talibun, intelligent. Zakiyun. Again, you can see very simple one there. We have another one, a forgiving Lord. A forgiving Lord. The word for Lord we'll use Rabbun. And forgiving is Ghafurun. A forgiving Lord. Rabbun Ghafurun. The wise, noble Imam. So we have the word Imam first, which has to be Al-Imamu. Wise. Al-Hakimu, a noble. Al-Karimu, the wise, noble Imam. Al-Imamul Hakimul Karimu, the noble, wise Imam. Again, very simple, inshallah ta'ala. You can see it, the noun being described coming first and the description 1, 2, 3 and 4 following afterwards, and they're matching in all the four properties. We will now use our beautiful template sentences to practice Iraab, but this time within the descriptive phrase. These sentences have been explained a number of times to you, so I'll just go straight to the translation. I want to say in the first one, a pious Muslim came. Who came? A pious Muslim. So in the first instance, I'm saying Muslim came. So it'll be Ja'a Muslimun. Ja'a Muslimun, a Muslim came. But what type of Muslim? We're going to give a description of that, and that Muslim will be pious. The word for pious is Salihun. Again, now you can see I'm matching the Iraab. Now, in the second example, I want to say I saw a Muslim. Ra'aytu Musliman. but the description of the word Muslim now is pious. So again, I need to make sure that the word pious is also in the same 4 properties. Ra'aytu musliman salihan. Again, you can see the 2 different Iraabs. Let's do the third example where we're going to put it in the jar status. So sallamtu ala, and I'm sure you know this by now, muslimin. So I gave salam to a Muslim, but I gave salam to a pious Muslim. Now I put the description after, and again you will see it, salihin. I hope this is easy, inshallah ta'ala, and you are finding the logical approach to the Arabic language, and it's a beautifully structured language. Anyway, let's continue. Now, instead of saying a pious Muslim, I want to say the pious Muslim. Again, it'll be al-Muslimu. If I were to just say the Muslim came, but now I need to give a description of the word Muslim, which is pious, was as-salihu. I hope this is easy for you, inshallah. Let's look at the next example. Al-Muslima, the Muslim. I saw the Muslim, but again, if I want to give a description, as-saliha. Again, you can see it very beautifully structured, exactly the same principle as I've been explaining all the way through. Again, just to save a bit of time, let me just copy and paste. So instead of saying I gave salam to a Muslim, I want to say I gave salam to the pious Muslim. So again, I'll have here ala al-muslimi as-salihi. So sallamtu ala al-muslimi as-salihi, which you can see the description phrase. So alhamdulillah, here you can see the 3 different phrases. First set are indefinite, second set are definite, and their Iraab, there is a reason. In the first one, it is the doer. In the second one, it is the object. And in the third one, alhamdulillah, is coming after the word ala, which we've already now seen so many times. So you have 3 different grammatical structures, alhamdulillah, being described to you of the descriptive phrase. Many of us, when we begin to study Arabic, we find this quite confusing. How to recognize the difference between the sentence and the descriptive phrase. If you look at the 3 here, they look almost identical. Hopefully not to you, but to somebody who has not gone through the first 2 lessons. We have the first one, Rasulun Karimun, Ar-Rasulul Karimu, and Ar-Rasulu Karimun. Now please take a look at these, and the same thing, pause the video, translate them for me. Now, if you were able to follow what I went through with you, inshallah, translating this should not be any difficulty for you. Rasulun Karimun, I will translate as, again, Rasul, messenger, which needs to come at the end. Karim will translate as noble. So I will translate this as a noble messenger. A noble messenger. I hope, inshallah ta'ala, you can see that. That is relatively easy for you to translate. Now, in the second one, I have Ar-Rasulu. So it's the messenger. Again, the description is the same. So it will become the noble messenger. The noble messenger. In the third example, I have Ar-Rasulu Karimun. Please pay attention. The first word is definite, the second word is indefinite. The first word is in the Rafa status, the second word is in the Rafa status. So that is not a phrase, it's a sentence. So the translation will be messenger is noble. The messenger is noble. Again, please take a look at this, and inshallah ta'ala, now I hope you can see very easily what is the difference between a descriptive phrase and a sentence with just 2 words exactly the same order, slight differences in the suffixes and the prefixes, and the meaning has completely changed. And this is the beauty, this is the thing that in Arabic you have to recognize, very observant at the beginning, and very soon you will see them. So again, let's quickly go through. I hope you can see it very, very easily. Let me create a space above it for you, inshallah, so I can show you. I hope you can easily recognize that this word is indefinite, this word is indefinite, this is Rafa, this is Rafa. You can see that all the 4 properties are matching. Let's look at the second one, inshallah, again, just to make it very clear so that we can notice them in the future, inshallah ta'ala. So we have the word here, definite, definite, rafa, and rafa. So again, the 4 properties are matching. Of course, we're not worried about gender and number in this lesson. In the third example, again, you can see, again see we have definite, rafa, indefinite, and rafa. In the third example, you can see we have definite and rafa, and we have indefinite and rafa. So therefore, there is no match here. It must be a sentence, definite and indefinite. And this is the way to recognize the difference between a noun sentence and a descriptive phrase. Alhamdulillah, we reached a point where we can now translate some Quranic text. Again, all you will need, of course, is some vocabulary, which you don't have, but we will acquire that as we go along. But what I would like to do now is to see if you can recognize some, inshallah ta'ala, structures from the Quran. Take a close look at these. You've got the vocabulary on the left-hand side. Please see if you can recognize whether they're sentences or phrases and translate accordingly. As you know, pause the video and complete the task before continuing. I hope you had a chance to do them. Let's see if we can translate what's on the screen. The first one I have is Ana Nadhirun. I hope you can see from the vocabulary, I am a warner. I am a warner. Again, the vocabulary is there, and I hope you can recognize that this is actually a sentence. Next, I have Al-Kitabil Mubini. Al-Kitabi. Again, you can see definite. I've even highlighted in red for you. Definite and definite, and both of them are in the jar status. So all the properties are matching. It should be a descriptive phrase, and the translation will be the clear book. And then we have Kitabun Mubinun. Again, you can see indefinite, indefinite, both in the rafa status. All the 4 properties are matching. So it becomes a clear book. And then we have Rizqan Kariman. Rizqan Kariman. Rizq is provision. Kariman is noble. So it will be a noble or generous provision. And then last one, Rajulun Mu'minun. Again, I hope you can recognize it's a perfect phrase in terms of the rules that we went through. So a believing man, probably be the best translation, a believing man. So you can see, alhamdulillah, we can now start recognizing these within the Quranic text, and we're only on lesson number 2. Be patient, continue with the lessons, inshallah ta'ala, and very soon more and more structures will become evident to us. Alhamdulillah, by the grace of Allah, we've reached the end of the practical session. Please take every example, note them down in your notebook, and do practice them. These are really there for our benefit, to help us learn the structures and to remember the basic rules that we need in order to recognize them. I hope and pray that you have found the lessons of benefit. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless you and reward you for taking part in the lessons themselves. I hope and pray that Allah increases all of us in knowledge. I hope again and pray that every lesson you'll be making some notes, you'll be keeping some record of the lesson, because we're going to build upon this knowledge. In the next lesson, we're going to be looking at gender, and the lesson after that, we're going to introduce the number. Please note that all the 4 properties are going to play a huge role in your Arabic study right throughout, from today even to advanced level. And therefore, it is very important that we get a solid foundation at the beginning. So please keep on watching the program, and please share the knowledge with others. Jazakumullahu khairan. I look forward to seeing you in the next session. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. الذي علم بالقلم